What's going on, guys? You're watching Mike, the musical vegan beast. And we're back at it with another Q&A. And the first Q&A, it was more of a general Q&A, so you guys get to know a little more about me. And this time, we've got a vegan-themed Q&A, where I answer your vegan questions. And I guess without any further ado, let's jump right into it. And the first question we got is from Decidedly Donna, and she asks, do you have a favorite vegan recipe? So my current favorite vegan recipe right now is maple brown sugar oatmeal, but I make it just a little different. So instead of using maple syrup, I actually use agave nectar. It's a little cheaper, it's more nutritionally dense, there's some more vitamin E, vitamin K in it, just for example. And it's a little less calorically dense too, so it's a slightly lower calorie food, gram per gram. And it's also a lower glycemic index food as well. So in other words, it has less of an impact on your blood sugar throughout the day. So instead of having a high glycemic index food that makes you crash after a short amount of time, it's more gradual, you know, because your blood sugar does lower throughout the day, generally speaking. So to me, it makes the most sense to have a food that correlates with that. That way, it doesn't feel like I'm bouncing up and down as far as energy levels, blood sugar, blood pressure, that sort of thing. I'm not like diabetic or pre-diabetic or anything, but I do care about my health, and in that sense, you know, the extra glycemic load from maple syrup's not necessary to me. Not saying you're going to get diabetic or anything, so don't misconstrue that. But it's also cheaper, like I said, too. It costs less money, because maple syrup is heckin' expensive. You know, getting the pure kind. Not that one that's like 75% high fructose corn syrup, and then maybe a little bit of maple. No. As far as the oatmeal itself, though, I also put oats, of course, and flaxseed and wheat germ. They help round that out. Adds a nice bit of texture, different flavor profiles, gives it a bit of a nuttier taste to it. That's what she said.
That's what she said!
And I was using brown sugar for a while, but I actually... Oh, light went off. Okay. Yeah, that light, this front light that I've got, it's got a limited battery. I've got 3 overhead lights just to try to keep things bright, a little less picture noise. You know, that's like that grainy texture that you see in the picture. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, that's right. I was using brown sugar for a while, but I actually switched over to this this other kind of sugar. It's not really a sugar. It's made with erythritol, stevia, and it's got a hint of molasses in it. It's like a makeshift brown sugar, except it has virtually no calories. And sugar alcohol has basically no impact on blood sugar throughout the day. So I just went with that. It tastes almost the same. It's like cool beans. It definitely gets the job done. And of course, got to round it out with soy milk. Your boy's got to have soy milk. Get that extra protein so I can keep making those vegan gains.
What a relief! When will this poisonous product cease?
Using oat milk with oatmeal is also really, really good. But it's got less protein, so I don't really get it as often. And it's soy milk's cheaper too. I noticed that. So I just go with the soy milk. But yeah, that's my current favorite recipe that I make right now. It's cheap, it's nutritious, tastes really good. I'll show the stats on the screen as far as its nutritional profile. And I don't know, maybe this will give you an idea on how to make your oatmeal next time. So yeah, there's that. And for the next question, we've got Layla 80s Lover. And she asks, are you planning any collaborations with other vegan YouTubers? So I don't have any formal plans yet, but I do have some people in mind. Mainly Cameron from Vegan for Kindness. They're all like, we got to get this guy on our channel, you know. And I do pop into live streams regularly now, more so now than I was. Not really because of like being distant from the vegan community or anything. Just, you know, just outside things going on. You know, sometimes I'm really busy with work, so I'm not online as much. Other times I am. It depends. But I've had a little more downtime recently, so I've been popping on their live streams more, and they're always like, we got to get you on the channel, man. We got to get you here. And coming up next year or so, I'll definitely be more open to hopping onto people's live streams, doing collabs and stuff. But if I had to pick 3, those are the 3 that I've got in mind. So, hey, maybe stay tuned. Or should I say, stick around! Alright, the next question I got is from Carb Rock. And he asks, they ask, I mean, I'm not sure what their pronouns are. Anyway, they ask, are there forms of activism you feel are more effective than others? So, I don't really understand what you mean by effective. I'm going to assume effective in the sense of getting people to go vegan. I don't think there's really I think as long as you're advocating what veganism stands for, you know, the liberation of animals, pro rights, I think as long as you're advocating that, there's no inherent right or wrong, effective, more effective way of doing that. You can be in a comment section and, you know, just like talking to people in the comment section, being like, you know, oh hey, go vegan, these reasons, you know, such and such, think about this, watch these documentaries. If that's helping people go vegan, then you're doing a great job. Or if you're making videos, again, pro liberation, pro rights for animals, because that's what the veganism really stands for, and you're getting all these testimonies of people going vegan as a result of that, I'd also say you're doing a great job too. And I guess between those two, I guess the video might be more likely to reach more people depending on the size of your audience, depending on the title of the video, time of day that you upload it. So, I mean, if I had to pick a more effective than others, I guess technically, if you want to look at the number of people that go vegan, maybe, or whether or not you have a high success rate in relation to how many people that you've talked to. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the vast majority of people we talk to, they either won't go vegan on the spot or they'll just brush it off completely. That's just kind of the world we live in, you know, like barely 1% of the population's vegan to begin with. So it's definitely an uphill battle trying to get people to go vegan, let alone many. But that does not mean to give up. That's why we're persistent, we keep going, especially people like Joey Carbstrong, Vegan Gaze, even that vegan teacher, I'll give her credit where credit's due. They have these large audiences where thousands upon thousands of people will see what you're saying. They'll see the vegan message. And even if that doesn't prompt them to go vegan on the spot, or maybe even at all, because again, a lot of people won't go vegan voluntarily, they're at least getting people to watch, right? They're at least getting people to see the message, to see what we stand for. So it's sort of like planting the seed, even if it doesn't bear fruit. I don't know. I'm not a philosopher, so take that what you will. But honestly, at the end of the day, if you're helping people go vegan, then you're doing what you got to do, as long as you know you're advocating veganism, right? And as far as effective, more effective, it really depends whether or not you're getting people to go vegan at all, whether or not you're getting a lot of people, whether or not you're getting people to go vegan for the right reasons. Again, pro-liberation, pro-rights. That's how I stand with veganism. So I know that's not a very straightforward answer, but neither is this whole discussion. So I hope that helps. At the end of the day, if you're advocating veganism, you're going out there doing activism of any sort, you're commenting in comment sections, you're making videos, whatever it is you're doing, you're helping people go vegan, you're helping people see the message that we're trying to show people and why we, you know, how we stand, where we stand, what our beliefs are, why we stand where we do, then I'd say you're doing your job. And let's see. Dre has 3 questions. The first one of which is, what are your favorite vegan meals? My favorite ones are vegan flavored. No, but in all seriousness, really a lot of the same kind of meals that I liked before I went vegan, just the vegan version of it, right? We're talking like subs, sandwiches, burgers and fries, and pizzas. Really just any of that kind of stuff. Breakfast bagels, especially. I like breakfast bagels. I like the ones where, well, like, I make my own as far as them. Not like made from scratch. Like, fresh from the freezer that was pre-made and then combined together. So made from scratch. No, but as far as like breakfast bagels, I'll take a just egg, possible sausage, some French dressing, and the bagel itself. And there we go, breakfast bagel. And if you never had French dressing on a breakfast bagel, What are you, a casual? But really, just, any of that kind of Murica kind of junk food that people like, just the vegan version of it. Like I said, burgers, fries, subs, sandwiches, breakfast bagels, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I'm into. But as far as like a healthier thing, really that oatmeal that I like to make, and sometimes I'll make like oily tofu pasta. It's exactly what it sounds like. Cubed pasta, the extra firm because it has more protein, olive oil, some pasta, or as they say in Wisconsin, pasta. Pasta, tacos, and corn tortillas.
Tacos! Hot tacos here! Ooh, are those tacos? You better believe they're tacos! I love tacos! Especially on a corn tortilla! Oh, I love tacos on a corn tortilla!
These kinds of meals, they're cheap, they're nutritious, they're delicious. It's kind of boring, but hey, I'm okay with boring food. A lot of the food I eat is boring, but tastes pleasant, tastes good, very nutritious, and very affordable too. That's always important. Affordability and convenience. But of course, my health. Now that I'm getting older, right, I'm going to be 30 next year, I do prioritize my health more and more. So even though I still like to have junky stuff, I don't eat junky stuff as much, and I can't really put down as much food in a single setting as I used to. So there's that. And the second question from Dre is, what vegan snacks do you like? So if I'm going to go for junky vegan snacks, my top three, I'm sure you guys already know by now. Pringles, your boy loves Pringles. Doritos, the sweet spicy chili ones. And the third one, you guys might not know this, pretzels. Historically, I've eaten so many pretzels, man. If I had $1 for every time I ate a freaking bag of pretzels in one sitting, I'm not talking about a convenience store bag. I'm talking like the Walmart 1-pound bags, the 2-pound bags. I've downed so many pretzels in my life. I love pretzels. There's just something about the taste of the wheat, the saltiness, the crunch, the toastiness. It's a perfect snack. As much as I love Pringles, man, I love Pringles, but pretzels are just so good. And if I had to pick healthier snacks, which I do have regularly, mandarin oranges, because, they taste sweet. I like to drink the juice in the cups, too. Really sweet. Carrots, unsweetened applesauce, celery. Just all, good wholesome food. Good wholesome snacks that I like to have regularly. And as far as the applesauce, I always get unsweetened just because it has less calories. And, just none of that added sugar crap. And out of those, I like the mixed berry one. If you ever have those, let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, those kinds of snacks, they're cheap, they're convenient, you can take them on the go, so it fits my lifestyle. And the last question from Dre is, what do you eat on Thanksgiving? So last year, I had this recipe for it was supposed to be a turkey loaf made with chickpeas and wheat gluten. And I didn't quite get that meaty texture that I was looking for. It was supposed to be more like that chewy, spongy sort of thing, like chicken nuggets and whatnot. I didn't quite nail the texture, but oh man, it was good. That stuff slaps, fam. That was a fire roast, if you know what I mean. I don't know if I'm going to make it again, though. It took quite a lot to make it. And I'm just not really feeling like cooking for Thanksgiving. So I think this year I'll probably go for those Gardein turkey loaves. Those things are really, really good. They have the rice and cranberries and kale. Good stuff, fam. Definitely recommended. And last but not least, we've got our buddy Ulf again. And he has 4 questions. So, way to end things off on a high note, right? So the first question he's got for me is, do you watch any activism stuff? Like debates, discussions, etc. Joey Carbstrong, for example. And yeah, I do. Not always, but sometimes I'll pop in if it's like an interesting subject, or if I happen to watch whoever's doing the debate, the discussion, whatnot. So one of the more recent ones I've watched, it was a couple months ago. It involved Sky from Vegan, of course, and Dan from Grumpy Vegan Granddad. And they were talking to Carson from Reasonable Vegan. And, Carson, he has certain stances like, Can vegans bleh. I don't know what I'm saying. Can vegans eat bivalves? There we go. I said it without a word salad. Or should I say, salad? If anybody gets that, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, as far as that debate with Sky and Dan with Carson, they were going over the thing with bivalves, as well as welfare laws and other topics, and in one way it was fascinating, because I see just how drastically different, like, everyone involved, how they approach the discussion, how they discuss in general, just seeing how unique each one is from each other. But at the same time, it was really frustrating, because it's like, you got an indestructible object moving an immovable force. It's like, it just doesn't work. And they couldn't seem to come to an understanding with one another. And it was like, ugh. It's a little anticlimactic. But, if you guys are familiar with how I am with veganism, I'm sure you know who I'm siding with in that kind of discussion. But on the bright side, it was entertaining. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. I'll have a link in the description down. I'll have a link in the description box down below. Excuse me. And then there was this other debate that I watched a while ago. It was with Ellie from Vegan Gays, and she was debating this guy that went by the name King, and he kind of brought up the whole thing with plants feeling pain, and then bringing in the Bible, appealing to the Bible, like, oh, God allows me to do this, therefore it's okay. And, oh, plants, they feel things, they hurt, they feel pain, blah, blah, blah. And then there were other creators involved too, like Vegan Postmortem and Ruckster. And then it was such a train wreck, dude. Because then it goes into this, like, whole thing with cosmic forces. And I'm like, I thought this was about veganism. What's going on here? It was hilarious. Just all the running circles with, the stretches in logic just to try to justify killing and eating animals, enslaving animals, exploiting them. Like, it's nerve-wracking, it's sad, it's horrifying, it's disgusting, but at the same time, it did make for an entertaining live stream. So if you haven't seen that one, be sure to check it out. I'll also have that in the description box down below, and I said it without messing up that time. Then I saw another one a while ago with Richard from Vegan Gains, and this other person. She goes by Demon Mama. She, they. I'm not sure what her pronouns are. I forgot what they were. But, they were going over a bunch of stuff too, and it sort of, towards the end, I don't want to spoil anything, so if you want to see that one, link in the description box down below too. But if you have seen it, I'm sure you guys know, it went off to the point of Demon Mama starting to accuse Richard of, like, being a groomer and a child molester and a rapist. It was just absolutely insane. And I know exactly I know exactly where the debate went downhill. It was one particular comment where Richard, he vocalized that he was becoming impatient with how things were going. It felt like his time was starting to get wasted because she keeps using these logical stretches, these stretches in logic to, again, continue justifying this sort of exploitation of animals, but yet acknowledging that it's wrong and that you shouldn't do it. And then it just started turning into a bunch of ad hominem attacks, and like, it was actually pretty civil for, like, the first, I think, 20, 30 minutes or so. But it was at that moment onward, it just took a nosedive for the worse. But it made it more entertaining. Again, definitely entertaining. I've seen a lot of his other debates and discussions with other people too. He actually had another discussion too with Reasonable Vegan Carson. And that one was actually civil. It wasn't completely terrible. But then they started talking about this hypothetical with, if Martians or aliens were attacking people in Africa, they invaded and were killing people, attacking people in Africa, would you save them? And then Carson was like, no, and then they went into a bunch of weird discussion like that. It was kind of a repeat, well, actually it was more of a preemptive of what I would have expected with Sky and Dan when they talked to Carson. But except this is Richard, and we know how Richard can get sometimes.
And when I see babies in a stroller, especially when they're crying, I just want to put my foot through the thing and step on it until it's nothing but blood and pulp on the pavement.
But that was an entertaining one. Also link in the description box down below if you want to check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. And other than that, you know, I'll sporadically watch some other stuff. Like, I did see the one from Joey where he was on the Piers Morgan show, and he just absolutely hit the nail in the coffin. He hit the hammer on the nail when it came to the bees and avocados and almonds. He did a really good job with that. And I like how he held Piers Morgan accountable with the backpedaling, like, oh, you were a criminal. Who were you to say this stuff? And he stood his ground and pointed out the hypocrisy of that. Because it's like, just, you aren't defined by your past actions unless you let them define you. That's how I think anyway. Like, Joey could have kept spiraling out of control with his life way back when and never went vegan, but he didn't. He took the ethical leap. He took the moral oath for animals by going vegan, and he turned his life around too. So you got to give the man credit where credit's due, even if you don't always agree with his approach, even if you don't always agree with his stances on things or how he does things, you know. And there's a couple other ones I've seen too. I saw the most recent one with Harry, where he was interviewing this lady on the beach, and she started feeling attacked, even though he was just asking, you know, very hard-hitting, poignant questions. And she's like, oh, I don't want to be attacked, and, you know, trying to make him feel like that he's guilt-tripping her. It's like, you can't really control, like, you control how you react to things, right? Like, if I say something and then you get mad at me, you can't entirely blame that on me, right? You have to look at your own temperament. You have to look at just the way that you respond to information that's passed on to you. You know, especially if someone's trying to be truthful to you, be transparent, be honest. Because let's be honest, even though we claim that we want to be told the truth, the fact is we only want that if it's assuring. But if you actually want to know, then you're going to take the information regardless of how you feel. And, you know, Harry definitely did a good job. I feel like he took place after Richard when it came to a lot of the questions and whatnot. So good on him. And I've seen some other ones from, I forgot how you pronounce his username. I just call him Liquor Tiger, Liger Tiger, I don't know. But I've watched a couple of his too. And I feel like he just needs to he kind of needs to slam the door a little more, go for the throat a little more. But other than that, great work, guys. You know, keep up the good work. And your work definitely does not go unnoticed. So, as far as some of these other ones I've seen, link in the description box down below. And the next question I've got from Ulf is, any vegan bands you listen to? Some with an animal rights activism message in their songs? I don't have any on top of my head right now. I know the lyricist Vegan, they make some pretty cool stuff. And got that vegan flow, am I right? If it counts, Ariana Grande supposedly vegan. Well, in all seriousness, I mean, she did open an animal sanctuary a couple years ago, and her makeup lines are allegedly vegan and cruelty-free, so that's something, right? I mean, she is a celebrity, and celebrities, you know, they're not always as they seem. So take all that with a grain of salt. I also heard that Arch Enemy's lead vocalist, you know, as of 2014, Alyssa something Glues, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Supposedly she's been vegan for almost as long as I've been alive, which that's crazy, dude. And she's also involved in like animal activism and stuff. So that's cool. I have listened to their music before, and I'm not super impressed, to be honest.
It's outrageous, egregious, preposterous. It's definitely preposterous.
The music itself, it is competently made. It sounds nice. It checks off all the boxes, but it just lacks replayability to me. I have found myself largely forgetting what I listen to. Not because I have Alzheimer's or dementia or anything. Well, I hope I don't. Let me know if I do. But, I don't know. The music just doesn't have a lasting impact to me. And none of it's really vegan oriented anyway, so it's whatever. But if you guys have any recommendations, bands and artists that are specifically vegan and or have animal rights activism in their lyrics and themes, let me know in the comment section down below. And the next question from Ulf is, do you eat seitan? If you do you eat lots of it? No, I really don't. I did technically use the ingredients for seitan in that turkey loaf that I made last year with the chickpeas. And I don't know, maybe it runs in the family. I know my mom has a really bad gluten allergy. She's very intolerant to gluten. Because that very Thanksgiving, after I left, they had to call EMTs to help her out. She got like really sick and very, very ill because of the gluten. And I'm like, oh crap, that's right. You have a wheat allergy, do you, Mom? And yeah, that's how that happened. Me though, I can handle it better. Even though if I eat seitan or really just anything with wheat gluten, it does impact my stomach negatively. So I don't really have it often for that reason, if really at all. That was probably the last time I formally had seitan, or anything that had seitan ingredients, like the wheat gluten, for example. And either way, I'm really more of a soy boy than a glutton for wheat gluten, so there's that. And last but not least, do you have any friends that are vegan where you live? And to answer that question, I'm going to use this clip.
I don't need friends. They disappoint me.
Well, that's that. That's the end of the Q&A. And I appreciate all the vegan-centric questions that you guys had for me. And let's keep this thing going, I guess. I would really like to try to film a Q&A every single week. So the next post that I'll do, the next poll, community poll that I have in the the community section, community tab, community. The next community post that I make, it's going to be a poll, and I'll just pick out some kind of Q&A theme, and you guys ask me your questions that you're curious about, that you want to find out from me. And when I do that, just leave it in the comment section down below. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you get notified the next time I upload. And if you're interested, check out my Linktree. You can support me on Patreon, buy me some coffee, check out my affiliate links for Stash, Uber, Shift. You want to work, get paid, save some money, make some money. And there's resources to help you and your family and friends go vegan. And I don't know, you might find something else interesting over there. Be sure to check it out. And as always, a quick shout out to my regular subscribers and viewers, everybody that comments, likes, shares, subscribes, doing all that good stuff so I can keep making those vegan and algorithm gains. I love you guys and I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.